is Risha Katagar coming up with a session simplifying the editorials for you. We'll pick up the editorial which are more important, simplify that for you so that you don't have to spend more time on it. Let's move ahead. The first editorial that we're going to discuss is that new IT rules. It was also in current affairs. I talked about how we'll discuss in detail, and even let us explain what are the new government IT rules. First, the article says that the new IT rules, the relationship between social media platform is going to be worsened, which was already worse. And it gave the two examples. Like one is regarding how we're going to discuss in the next WhatsApp and Twitter example. First, let's talk about the new rules. It talked about four important rules. First is the chief compliance officer, whose is to make sure the rules are followed. That means if the government want some rule to be followed by social media giant, then chief compliance officer will make it sure. Like government asks for some data, then the chief compliance officer will provide that data. Second is the nodal officer. Nodal officer will coordinate the law enforcement agencies. So its role will be to coordinate the law enforcement agencies. Next is the grievance redressal officer. That is who will the grievance redressal officer will deal with the grievances. If any kind of the public have some concern, then it is the grievance redressal officer that will deal with the complaint. Next is what is the most problematic rule is that it will ask the social media platform to give the information about the originator, to trace the problematic message to its originator, which WhatsApp is seriously concerned about, because WhatsApp works on the principle of privacy and it quite to end-to-end encryption, and supposedly it says that its information cannot even be shared with company, that it does not even give company, which is questionable obviously, but the WhatsApp works on this policy. So WhatsApp does not want to give up that particular edge of itself. So this is why company are resisting this particular rule. And what are other reasons why the company are resisting, what are issues and concerns in that, we'll discuss article discuss about that. Now it says, article said that the government had given 3 months, but most of the companies had not complied so far. Now why the government says, the article says that the issue in that is that already the relationship is stranded, it will further exacerbate the relationship. It gives the example how Twitter tagged the BJP spokesperson as manipulated media, and in return the government reached the office, the Delhi police reached the office of the company. And then also WhatsApp has filed a lawsuit against the government policy. So this is how relationship already stranded. Then it talked about how if you're making such a big decision, that it was important that public should have been consulted, but the public was not consulted. And it says if the policy is of such matter that it is going to impact such large number of people, then it should have come by the way of legislation. But even that did not happen. Then it talked about how the compliance is very difficult in pandemic scenario, but the government is not being right now accommodating right now. So this is how the government, then article says it is important the government should listen to some suggestion. First, media should be taken on board so that at least a genuine demand are being taken care of, because many of the rules are good but many are problematic. So in terms of problematic, government should try to accommodate their concern. Second, various industry bodies, at least 5, has asked for the extension of its extension by 6 to 12 months. The article says that this extension should be given, and instead the government should take this time to again use a less high-handed approach. We're done with this article. Next is there was important article about online education. The article talked about how government has asked for the higher education institution for shift from the traditional to online education model. But then article quote the data of All India Higher Education Survey, and it says when there are 993 university and 393 nearly 40,000 college and 373 crore students, this change cannot be all of a sudden, and this is going to be problematic. It says, and it talked about the various kind of challenges that are going to come into way. First, it says the government spent too little. It spent only 3.2% of GDP, and then there is no the supplementary infrastructure in terms of internet connection or even the bandwidth. Then it's talked about how the important challenge is different between state and central university. You cannot measure the performance of state university on the basis of the resources central university has. It says the central university perform better, like on the three indicators the given in like resource, the central universities perform better but state are inadequate. Central have even launched e-content and online video. You must have seen like but they are like news articles in terms of like IIT Delhi has come up with online management classes and online project management classes. Even I am Kochikodi etc. But like state university do not have particular internet and bandwidth. Even state university do not have teachers and like the teachers aren't trained, unlike the central university. So article talk about that how because of this the inequality and asymmetry of society will be more widened, because some people have access to digital tools, some student they will perform better, and once they perform better it will even create the psychological impact in terms of anxiety. So that says about how the social and psychological impact. Then it talked about infrastructure challenge. The internet penetration is low in India, and then there is a digital divide. To quote a data, in Bihar, there is 160% intensity in urban area of Bihar, whereas only 60% tele-density in rural area of Bihar. With such kind of difference, this is going to create more divide. Then methodological issues. It says online education without training spatially is not that imaginative and not that application based. Spatially, it will not perform the fruitful and lab based work like engineering, like chemical engineering, etc. So the government talked about these challenges. Since the pandemic going to stay for a time, online education is needed, but then it says it has to be done in a phased manner. Provide adequate infrastructure. The consultation should be done with the stakeholders, especially universities, etc. The article talked about how even in previous changes, the government did not consult the teacher, like 4-year program in the Delhi University. Then it talked about they provide the financial help to the state in terms of IT tools, platform, devices. It also talked about how 15th Finance Commission talked about research is needed in online education so that proper way it can be utilized. Then it talked about how MOOC, that is massive open online education, direct to home, digital classroom, etc. can help students. In fact, government can distribute the laptop to the student, can help make an inclusive education. Next article is about black fungus, that is mucormycosis. Now in black fungus, the article first talked about what is black fungus disease. It says it is a very rare fungal disease which is not transmitted from individual to individual like the COVID is. So this is not this way. Instead, low immunity and use of steroid, use of chemotherapy may be stimulating this. So like I have made a detailed video in terms of black fungus. You can go into that. What is black fungus? What are the issues? What are the challenges? What is suggestion? What is government advisory? You can get to know in this particular let us explain section. So let's talk about what editorial has to say about it. It says that the extent of damage is as such that many states have declared its pandemic. Even we saw how Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan have done it. Now, risk of this has increased in India by almost 70 times. Now, the article talked about why risk is higher in India. First, it says because of Lancet study says that number of people suffering from diabetes has increased by almost 65 million in India. So these people are more prone. Second, it says that there is underlying genetic reason now which is unearthed by exposure to asteroids. So asteroids actually promote this. Next, it talked about how increased blood sugar level, like COVID, what it does, it actually multiplies pancreatic cells, and pancreatic cells in result contribute to increase in blood sugar level. Then it says to deal with like black fungal disease, like a coordinated approach of many people is required. It is a multidisciplinary approach, but which is not feasible in India, having lack of human and other kind of resources. And then it says how prolonged hospitalization also increase the cost and susceptibility. And again, there is a reduced drug stock. We saw in news just recently how amphotericin, which is a major drug in this case, is less available and is priced out for the reach of many. Then it gives some suggestion. It talked about the preventive and curative step. In curative step, what it says that there needs to be change in treatment protocol. from patient to patient, like those who are diabetic and those who are not, those who have taken the immunosuppressant has to be taken, in some cases they are not. Second, the guidelines and protocols need to be adapted and modified rapidly. Once you have done, modify them rapidly, and again promote awareness about them with the help of ASHA worker. And then it talked about the curative step in terms of if steroid has to be used, then it should only be used under the supervision of some healthcare worker. And then monitor their blood glucose level, like if you're providing at home. And in like this, with this holistic approach, he says that you can deal with the black fungal disease. But then it says that with the alarming increase of multi-drug resistant bacterial infection, like our country is grossly unprepared. That is something now we should again be working towards. Now that next is one state solution for Palestine. The author talks about how two-state solution is flawed, and it talked about how first two-state solution was given. It was in 1937 that a British minister talked about in Balfour Declaration need of two-state solution. At that time, Zionist movement was only 50-year old. Now, to understand what is Zionist movement is movement in favor of Jewish having their own homeland in Israel. So it started at like nearly 50 years ago, before the World War II, and the massive massacre and Holocaust during World War II only fueled the movement. So what happened is, it says that asking a two-state solution was like offering partition India at time of decolonization, that they can be British India and local India. So that's why Palestine were not ready to accept the solution, because it would, like they were worried, it would mean more than losing just half of their homeland. Article says, which actually come out to be true. Then it talked about what is the Israel strategy so far. The article says Israel has so far, like till 1967, has occupied most of Palestine. And it says since after 1948, the massive ethnic cleansing was not that possible. So instead, Israel used the incremental ethnic cleansing. That means killing 100 people today, 200 people in next, violence, etc., etc. And again, it used the military rule in West Bank and Gaza Strip. Even used the apartheid regime. That means differentiating in between the two ethnic community, that is Jewish and Arabs. And its classic example was the Citizenship Law 2018, which was in news, by which it was discriminated in between the Arab and Jewish citizen in terms of like getting various rights and identity. Next is the article says the Palestine accepted the Oslo Accord, which talked about the two-state solution, because they thought at least the Gaza and Hamas they will have. But then what happened? The article says because of Israel have such great power and skewed balance of power, it will be the Israel who will decide what will be the new solution. So it says that over the period of time, slow, steady ethnic cleansing, periodic violence, and deceit pact have actually left Palestine with nothing. So two-state solution is an issue, and it talked about the fault in the two-state issue. It says that two-state solution is only possible if Israel stopped the violation of human rights of Palestinians. But it says instead, over the year of time, Palestine have just increased the violence, and it is not a conflict per se. Article says conflict is only possible between two national identity of comparable stature, but in this case, one is colonial settler, that is Israel, and other one is victim. So that's why two-state solution is not going to be possible. Instead, it gives some suggestion. It talked about, first of all, decolonize the Palestine, dismantle the colonist institution, and then fairly redistribute the existing resources in between the two communities. Then it talked about there is a need of compensation and reparation. That means those victims of ethnic cleansing needs to be compensated and reparation. Then build a Arabic or the democratic state where the two ethnic community can live together. So this is what is the article suggests. With this, we are concluding today's editorial. Thank you so much for staying with me. Now stay at home, stay healthy, and stay safe.